Let's do it.
False enthusiasm. Live from not February. Is it okay to admit that I'm relieved it's not February anymore?
I'm not a February guy.
March scented version of almost spring flavored Biz Nuggets, joined as always by Emma, March 1st lurking, and Matt, February 29th Muscardi. I'm almost April and completely losing my mind. In today's March stained bag called March 1st, 2022, more war. You can see why I'm a little off. War.
Oh, God.
Emma's headline of the day, and a business pants history moment.
Oh. I'm wore out. Can
Oh,
this war
good.
be
I have a
over?
remedy for that. Let's start off with the first bit of good news from this
Oh.
horrible war.
All
I
right,
think
good
this is
news.
It's kind of like a mini good game.
I'll be
you
the
can
judge
tell
of
me.
that.
Germany plans to rapidly accelerate its goal of 100% renewable power to 2035, bringing forward a target to generate almost all of the country's electricity from renewable sources by 15 years, right? So they're giving the big middle finger to 2050. What does this have to do with the war? Germany is launching a series of measures to diversify its energy sources away from Russia after Moscow's invasion of the Ukraine.
Yay!
Because Germany relies on Russia for more than half its natural gas, and its recent decision to phase out nuclear power means that Germany is sniffing around for more AAA batteries. That's how we got here.
I like that.
To get to its new goal, Germany will significantly expand its wind and solar facilities. So take that, Russia. Who needs you when I've got the breeze and a suntan? That's
I don't know about that ending. I do want to point out, if it was possible to shave 15 years off your target because of one geopolitical event, why did we set the target so far into the future in the first place?
Oh, see, now you're taking us somewhere else, Matt.
Now I'm taking it to anger places. That's just
not only
where
an
I live right
event,
now.
but a known wild card entity to begin with. It's not like, is anyone really? I mean, people are. It's devastating, but is anyone really surprised? I don't even know anymore.
Not even a little bit.
All right.
Well, I'm here to tell you that the Third World War just got more crowded.
Oh.
We have no less than 4 new sovereign nations jumping into the fray, plus a guerrilla army has pledged support, all for Ukraine. In fact, the new nations, which are led by 2 sets of dictators and 2 democratically elected leaders, have thrown nearly double the total Ukrainian armed forces into the battle. Here's your quick summary. Facebook and Twitter remove Russian propaganda accounts from their platforms, including hackers trying to take over Ukrainian accounts. Google is busy taking down YouTube videos. And just today, this headline, as tanks rolled into Ukraine, so did malware. Then Microsoft entered the war. That's right. Who needs NATO when you have Mark Zuckerberg? Does that make you feel better? Ukraine, you feeling better? Damien's feeling constipated.
Yeah.
Nuclear weapons seemed pretty boomer and trivial when you have Tom Burt, senior Microsoft employee in charge of major cyber attacks. In fact, as of now, major government cybersecurity briefings are being given back and forth between big tech companies and governments. And according to the article, quote, actionable intelligence is being found by companies like Microsoft and Google who can see what is flowing across their vast networks. That's right. Microsoft and Google have more information than the governments do about what's happening in some of these countries. The Russian cyber attacks have been pretty muted so far, but the expectation that they'll spike is pretty high. And it won't be just Ukraine that feels the spike. They're expecting them to lash out at anybody who's issued sanctions. Our lives are in the hands of Mark Zuckerberg, Larry Page, Sergey Brin, and Microsoft Windows blue screen of death.
Great.
The last sovereign pseudo-nation jumping in this war is Anonymous.
Yeah.
That's right. The hacker group Anonymous has entered the war and gone on the offensive, taking out Russian military websites, doxing officials, ostensibly so we can find out where they live and leave flaming bags of poop on their doorsteps. Take that, Russia.
Molotov poop bags. I like it.
It all begs the question, and this is a question for you two, Rubes. At what point should we just expect a company to declare war on a country? Like, if they can enter a war, they have more information. When do we see the first time that like some company is like, I'm going to war with Niger? I never liked that country.
Well,
we're going to war.
Why are you picking on Niger? Listen, you know where this is going to happen. It's going to happen in the metaverse because
that's the next question.
Because these tech companies they're going to think it's not a big deal, and then they're going to unwittingly screw something up. They're going to unwittingly like kill the food supply for like 200 million people by mistake because they're run by a bunch of Stanford Zitty dropouts.
Libertarian University. And if it does happen in the metaverse, can it be on pay-per-view then? Can we like actually just
Isn't
like pay to enter that metaverse and walk around with goggles on and be like, this is cool. That guy just blew up that guy. Only in real life, he basically, turned off his refrigerator or whatever they do. I don't know how they do.
I know people think that Matt is fooling around here, but we actually spent an hour talking about this in pre-production. So
it's terrifying. I'm terrified.
Yeah, there is more to
terrified.
We're gonna bring back this idea of sovereign nation company states. So don't think we're gonna stop bothering you about this. Yeah, go ahead.
Haven't we already gotten there? Like, all wars that we decide to wage as a country are just decided by business interests. No?
Yeah,
but it's a little different than like when World War II happened, right? Ford changed its production line to build tanks instead of cars, right? Like we used private-public partnerships as part of like the war mechanism. This, I'm talking about not like waging war just for business interests, as in like, what if you get a crazy like Putin who runs a company, it's a fake public company, shareholders can't get rid of that person, and they decide, I don't like France. We're going to basically go after them somehow. Like, could they do it?
With warlike violence.
With warlike violence, whatever that looks like.
Well, look, but as the theater of war changes to like a cyber environment, why not? I mean, who's going to be more skilled? Who's going to have a bigger military than? I mean, we're talking about the fact that all of these sovereign company nations, their employee base is spread across the world, just like the U.S. military, right? I mean, they're everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Well,
not only are they everywhere, they're as large as some of the militaries. Yeah.
Matt, I can answer your question outright. It's never going to happen because companies already have a very sweet arrangement. They pay for the people to be elected and get into office. Therefore, their public servants are really their public servants. They can just have them do the heavy lifting. And the companies never have to have a piece of bad PR. That all lands on the people they got elected. That is why it will never happen.
That seems too optimistic for you, Emma Larkin. What about the disgruntled, controlling shareholder who is not getting enough dates and just gets angry and it doesn't like the way that everyone's turning against him? And what stops that person eventually from doing something crazy? You know what I'm saying?
I can't think of one college dropout that you're talking about.
But seriously though, but if you leave that much power in the control of one pasty man, what might stop that from happening one day where he just snaps?
It's a very interesting question, and I would like to ask the Business Roundtable. Dear Business Roundtable, you have solutions for all. Please help us with this as well.
How come they never come on our show?
Yeah, where are they? Where is the Business Roundtable right now? What are they doing?
You know what it's time for? It's time for a Business Pants history moment.
Ooh. Oh, wait. We have Business Pants history music?
Let's set the Business Pants flux capacitor to 2009 to something called the Whopper sacrifice. The premise was simple. Unfriend 10 people on Facebook, gain a coupon for one free Whopper. That's right. The Whopper sacrifice was a Burger King ad campaign on Facebook that promised a coupon for a free hamburger if participants simply deleted 10 of their friends. It was a wild success. The Facebook application was installed nearly 60,000 times in a matter of days. Nearly 20,000 free Whoppers were handed out, and well over 200,000 Facebook friends were deleted. And why was it so successful? Well, one, free burger, and two, it tapped into a pre-metaverse existential crisis created by social media companies like Facebook that had us all wondering, what is friendship in the 2.0 world? One of the truly beautiful components of the Whopper sacrifice was that it sent notifications to the defriended. A message saying that your friendship was worth 1/10 of a Whopper.
Oh.
Also, it was this notification that Zuck used as an excuse to end the fun as Facebook disabled the campaign after only 10 days. There's your sovereign leader taking away the fun, ending the war, claiming that it was a violation of user privacy because Whopper sacrifice notified friends if they had been deleted. User privacy on social media?
Privacy. That's...
The place where you post pictures of your kids in diapers and tell people the instant you broke up with Doug?
Isn't it my libertarian right to dislike my friends and use them for Whoppers?
So after 10 days and after 230,000 intentionally destroyed friendships, Whopper was sacrificed. And that was your moment in Business Pants history. A very special Business Pants history moment.
Oh, I like this fade up.
So there you go. That's it. That's how we're gonna attack. That's our defensive position against these companies, Matt, against these sovereign companies, is that somehow through a combination of getting rid of
Whoppers?
your friends and free cheeseburgers, I think we can figure this out together. So let's
We're all in it
let's talk.
together, Ukraine.
I'm setting a meeting right now on Google Calendar.
Ukraine, just unfriend Russia. You'll get a Whopper.
All right, Emma, come on. What's your headline of the day? Emma, do we have a name for this new segment? The Emma, what is this?
Right now, it is Emma lurks around the headlines, which is far too wordy, so it will be once again changed.
I'm not excited by that. Okay.
Here's my headline.
I like that we never have a name.
Serena Williams raises $111 million for new venture fund. So
you're really leaving the war territory.
Yeah, sorry, I left.
Talking about
I didn't
Serena
want to be there
Williams.
anymore.
Yeah, no, it's a different kind of war.
Okay.
Yeah, agreed. So she has a venture fund called Serena Ventures. She is already an angel investor with a 60-company portfolio. Some of the companies include Sendwave, Masterclass, Daily Harvest, if you know any of those. And the fund, while focused on people from underrepresented communities, it doesn't require that founders of companies be from underrepresented backgrounds, but 3/4 of them do, in addition to 53% of their investments being for female founders and 47% going to Black founders. It all looks pretty sweet, but here's my question about all of it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Why? What is with this celebrity venture capital thing? I'm just athletes in particular. Like many athletes are getting into the venture capital game, and it's something I simply don't understand.
Well,
should
I can
everyone
explain
be doing
to you.
it? Is it weird that they're doing it? I don't get it.
I can actually explain it to you because in the 90s, the version of this was called car washes. You just bought like 20 car washes. So this is the evolution of like relief pitchers for the Mets owning car washes and
It wasn't car washes. It was grills, the Foreman grill, and it was restaurant chains.
No,
So
I
it's
remember.
just a way to funnel tax-free money.
I remember John Franco, relief pitcher of the Mets, owning a lot of car washes out there in Queens.
I mean,
Brooklyn.
that's the
I'm just
John
saying.
Franco level. We're talking about the Jay-Z level. That they owned. They owned
Wait,
like
this is not.
Jay-Z the bar.
I can't believe you're telling me that Jay-Z's elevated over John Franco. I'm a little lost. Does that answer your question,
to do that,
Emma?
Matt. No. I think the real reason is first
Because
well,
they
two
can?
reasons. First, they can afford it, right? Like, and
Yep.
whenever someone has a big pile of money sitting around, there's always vultures looking for ways to make you think you're going to get richer off that money.
Okay.
but-
that was one of the thoughts that I had, I have to admit. And so I was like, is Serena Williams getting duped? I don't want Serena Williams to be getting duped by a vulture. It doesn't look like it, seeing as her staff is all women.
Stupid enough to get.
Are you
duped.
really worried about Serena Williams when like her husband is like uber powerful, the Reddit dude, right? I mean, you really worried about
What
Serena
if-
Williams?
No, I'm not
Really?
worried about Serena Williams, but I'm just saying that what if her husband is the ultimate duper? What if he's the one duping her?
He's a duper.
I just want to.
I don't know why you're not asking why a stupid tennis player has that much money in the first place. Why is that not?
Because she's the
part
greatest
interest
of all
you?
time. Like, why does
Oh,
a
okay,
stupid
sure.
basketball
Greatest tennis
player
player
have
of
a
all
lot of
time.
money? Right?
My daughter plays. She's on the high school tennis team. Where are the millions? I don't see any millions. No, people barely show up to watch the matches. I don't know what's
She
going on.
did just start a venture fund, though, didn't she?
All right.
And the second reason is there's so much money to be made, and it's basically an unregulated space. That's why. It's pretty simple. Like, if you can put your money in a place where no one can really track it or pay attention, there's limited implications to it. In fact, by starting a fund, it's hugely tax advantaged for you. You save a lot more money, and you can make a lot more money, and everybody's happy. Why not do it? Good for her for taking advantage of a white man system.
Agreed. But maybe the reason I'm confused is internal laziness, because I'm like, I would just put that into into some index fund and let it sit there, and then I would
passive ownership alert.
Oh.
It just seems like a lot of effort to do it the other way.
And you would make less money and be poorsy.
But at that point, if I'm already rich, it feels like not a huge loss.
Just do the Zuckerberg route, which is buy an island in Hawaii and move there.
Sit there. Yeah, just sit around.
No one go to Hawaii.
Let's stay in the rich celebrity sports world. Finally, our last story, our first war meets fake corporate governance PR greenwash moment, okay? At English soccer club Chelsea. Well, Emma, you're a big fan of Chelsea, right? Big supporter?
Nah, I'm more of a Man City girl.
Owned
That's
by
the only
Russian
other team's name I know.
Chelsea is owned by Russian billionaire businessman Roman Abramovich, who made his fortune during Russia's financial collapse and chaos in the 1990s. At best, he's a shrewd, opportunistic vulture. Another usage of the word vulture, Matt.
Vulture?
At worst, he's a scummy dude who prospered off of others' misfortunes. But here's the story. I want to focus on his strange ESG announcement a few days ago, where he said, I'm going to read you the whole quote. Try to do it quickly. During my nearly 20-year ownership of Chelsea, I have always viewed my role as a custodian of the club, whose job it is ensuring that we are as successful as we can be today, as well as build for the future, while also playing a positive role in our communities. I have always taken decisions with the club's best interests at heart. I remain committed to these values. That is why I am today giving trustees of Chelsea Charitable Foundation the stewardship and care of the Chelsea Football Club. I believe that currently they are in the best position to look after the interests of the club, players, staff, and fans. So it's a Russian war corporate governance ESG baton handoff. Notice he never said Ukraine. He never said Russia. He never said war. He didn't formally get rid of anything. He's not getting rid of any ownership or power. He's not divested. This is just like when the CEO, founder, controlling owner just becomes the executive chair, right? And doesn't give up any ownership. So it's nothing. Matt's confused why I picked this story. I understand.
Well, I'm confused why the follow-ups are they identified the trustees of the fund. And the question I would have is how many of them are directly related to the owner who's handing them the club?
The power. Is this like Washington football team owner Dan Snyder embroiled in a massively horrible sexual harassment scandal? Is this like him handing over co-CEO duties to his wife? Is it similar?
It's sort of like that because like the chair, like the trustee chair, is a guy named Bruce Buck, who's personally done legal work for Abramovich when they acquired Sibneft, like an oil company in Russia. So these are really independent types. It's like bro marriages. You basically hired your bro wife.
That was a very courageous announcement, Mr. Abramovich. A postscript to the story. Remember the Elon Jet Twitter kid who was hounding Elon Musk by tracking his private jet? His name is Jack Sweeney. Now he's tracking Russian oligarch jets. Included in that list are 6 jets controlled by Chelsea Football Club owner Roman Abramovich. There you go. If you want to,
I like.
If you want to stay, if you want to,
I want to talk to Jack.
Okay.
Yeah, reach out to Jack. I want to, because like he's better at governance than apparently Russian billionaires. That that's all we have today.
That's
I'm
enough.
warred out. I'm tired of war. Can we just move on to the metaverse and get it over with? I am Matt Muscardi, and that's Emma Lurking and Damian Rallis. We are Business Pants, and that was all. Come back for more content. But, we do have a fancy expert lined up for Friday. This Friday, a new fancy expert will join us for the good game. So stay tuned for that. We'll be back at you tomorrow with more.
We're not going to announce.
Oh well, I don't. I just want to tease it because we haven't confirmed times. And
I
stuff.
love.
So, but
Can I just say?
it's
Can I
lined
also
up.
tease? Can I also tease something else? I love fancy experts.
Honestly, they are the best. If
Can
you
I
are a fancy expert,
Call us.
join us.
Can I
Call us.
tease the fancy expert when they
Sure.
come? Okay.
Oh, as in tease them, not now.
Yeah. Can
Okay,
I do a
got
little
it.
teasing?
That's it. We'll see you